from Fabulous Equinox Orchestra coming to you here with our dear friend, Mr. Ryan Bricknell.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're several series into this new segment, this new series of segments we're doing. Where we're highlighting our guys,
The brilliant people that make the band swing. And Mr. Bricknell has been with us a while, and we try not to ever leave the house without him.
So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing our trombone number one man, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Bricknell. How you doing, Ryan?
Thank you, everyone. Studio audience here. No, it's good to be here, man. I'm happy to be here, and yeah, it's been a long time, man. We've done this for a number of years, and I'm super excited. And this is great to do, to be able to talk to you guys. It only took a pandemic for us to get together like this.
So, Ryan, how many years? Do you remember how many years has it been you've been with us?
So, as of today, now obviously it jumps around a little bit, but literally today is exactly 10 years.
You have got to be kidding
me.
Today is 10 years.
My first gig with you, I got called on like a Thursday from Mike Emmert saying, "Hey, can you play this gig with this big band in Daniel Island?" which is the day before Mother's Day, and that was literally 10 years ago.
That is insane.
And obviously, when we're recording this, tomorrow is Mother's Day, so it's literally 10 years.
That is crazy, Ryan. So our people probably don't know this, but I guess for 10 years we did that gig. I mean, now they're obviously not doing that Daniel Island thing this year, but it was this crazy scene. We set the whole big band up on an island in this community, and there's a big lake, and then all the people sat out on the other side of the lake and picnicked and ate, drank, and were merry, and it was a great gig, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. I mean, you brought in guys from North Texas to play drums, and I just remember sitting in with that band for the first time, and the person who I was filling in for had legal issues and could not make it that day. So
I don't even know what it was, but I love that.
Let's just say he wasn't allowed to leave the state or county. I don't know what I don't
see. This happens with trombone players.
Same song, same story, different verse. It just happens all the time.
You know, it's so funny. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so I got called last minute and played with you guys, and I remember just being kind of in awe of playing on an island in the middle of a lake.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, and that was kind of the beginning of the ridiculousness that's been
awesome.
The past 10 years.
We've had some fun, haven't we, buddy?
So tell us a little bit about your, well, first of all, where are you talking to us from today? Where are you?
I live in Jacksonville, Florida, in my newly sold house. We're moving out of this house into another house here in a couple of weeks, and in my home office, I work from home generally during the day, practice, and I also virtual teach as well. So talking to you from my beautiful, spacious 3-bedroom in Jacksonville, Florida.
Right on, man. Now that's not where you grew up. You grew up you grew up in Las Vegas, didn't you?
No.
I actually was born in Long Beach, California.
That's right.
Southern California,
okay.
And then moved to Indiana for high school, and then to Florida for a little bit of college and cruise ships, and then finished college here, moved out to Vegas because I wanted to be in the Rat Pack band. Like, that's this Sinatra at the Sands, that kind of style of music really appeals to me, and I believe that's kind of my calling is to be that kind of musician in that scene. And so we moved out to Vegas, and I went to UNLV and grad school there and graduated, and then the economy tanked in 2009, and then I had to move back to Florida, had a baby, and needed to become a responsible individual with a child, and so now I'm here in Florida, and then met you guys shortly after.
Trombone player, responsibility. I just don't see how those
incongruent. I mean, it's science. It's science.
So
I'm faking it till I make it. That's
a fellow trombone player, I'm always in awe of your ability, and I say fellow trombone player as if. But anyway, tell us about your. I mean, how did you come to play? I'm curious. How did you come to play the trombone? Where did that?
Where did this bad idea start?
It was a calamity of errors and accidents.
As they always are.
And that's generally how it happens. So I started out, in middle school, you pick your elective,
Sure.
and I really wanted to be in art because that sounded like fun. And band was my backup in case art was full. And of course, nobody wanted to be in band, so everyone wanted to be in art. And so I got put into band as my
Against
second
your will.
choice. Yeah, and I thought, man, I'm gonna be stuck here. What's cool? Well, drums are cool, so I played
course.
drums for about 6 weeks and got bored to tears because it was, you tap, 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 you wait 30 minutes, and then maybe you crash something together. And so I was a fan of, believe it or not, of Star Trek. Now, this is where the trombone and nerds start to merge.
Okay.
And there's a character on Star Trek that played the trombone, and I was like,
Is there-
that looks like fun.
Who is the
Who-
character?
Who played trombone?
It's Commander Riker from Star Trek Next Generation played the trombone. I was like, that sounds like fun. And so I told my band director, and he was mad. I was going to switch instruments, mid-semester.
You can't do that,
Switch to
yeah.
the trombone. Again, an accident, and just on a whim, and that was 28 years ago.
No, wait. Did Commander Reich, did he play it on the show?
I think I remember
Or
this
is it just
episode.
the guy?
No, he played it in the TV show, and now he knows how to play the instrument. And I learned this down the line. Actually, Bill Watrous, famous LA tromboner,
Yeah.
actually did the playing on the show, but
That
he
is
pretended to
amazing.
play on the show. And again, it was bad ideas after bad
I
ideas.
love this. I love you even more now, man.
All right,
This
so
is a great
I
story.
got to interject here. Two points of interest. Number one, Bill Watrous played the show with us, which was pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Number two, I had a similar experience when I went to pick up my saxophone the first day. You go to the music store to pick it up, and with the saxophone, they read you the riot act. They're like, listen, son and mom, this is a delicate piece of machinery. You need to wait till Monday, because it was like Friday. Wait till Monday so the teacher can show you how to put it together, or you're going to break it. That's what's going to happen. It's an expensive thing. So the first thing I got home, first thing out of the box, I'm putting it on, and I'm playing, and I'm honking around at my grandmother's house, and I can play all the little songs that I could play on the little song flute, because it's just the same buttons or whatever, except I played the whole weekend with the mouthpiece upside down. And then I realized that I had it upside down because I was watching different strokes, and Arnold was playing the saxophone, and I
There you
realized
go.
that the mouthpiece was upside down. So I was off to a great start.
Different
Yeah,
strokes.
yeah, as we all are.
Oh my gosh! Well, you have had a long and storied career, my friend. You've played with some heavies. You've done some big shows. Tell us about some of your most memorable shows you played with.
Well, I mean, living out in Vegas, I got to play with lots of high-end entertainers. I got to play with Wayne Newton, who in the musical community isn't necessarily, he's kind of got a little of a black spot on him because of how he treats his musician. I was subcontracted, so I got paid well and treated great. I played with Wayne Newton, as we mentioned before, a dozen or so Elvis impersonators,
Yes.
which is always fun. The Rat Pack show that was in Vegas at the Plaza there in downtown Vegas. I played there a few times a week right before everything kind of went south in the economy in 2009, and I've got to play the Producers show with David Hasselhoff.
Nice.
Doing the producer show in Vegas, and a bunch of little one-off sideline kind of gigs, and just wherever they needed a trombone player who was going to show up and be relatively sober, I got the call.
Really, as most trombone players are,
Exactly.
relatively, sober.
Man, I love it. Well, I know. On many of our most grand adventures, you have been with us. You did Halifax was the first kind of a big mission thing that we did, where we took the whole band. That was a pretty great experience.
Yeah, that was a blast, and I've been to Halifax too. My wife is Canadian.
In fact, your wife and kids joined us for part of that trip, didn't they?
Yeah, they flew up it was over the summer, and typically over the summer they like to go up to Toronto and visit the in-laws, my in-laws, their parents, and her parents. And so they joined us for when we were in Hamilton, Ontario for that gig, and my wife flew out to Nova Scotia and joined us for that little leg of it. And,
That's right.
And it was a blast. And when you say there was 4 wives and 7 children, my wife was included in that, and nobody died. And so there may have been an argument or 15, but
Yes.
hey, that's traveling with family.
It is. I remember several things about that are special. I remember going to an assisted living place and like sanding the walls and painting the walls. I remember probably my most special memory, and I saw a video of it the other day. It popped up on my timeline where we were at an assisted. We were at a special needs orphanage. And we were in the backyard, and we were playing. I think the video was us. We were playing like "Jesus Loves Me" or something for these little kids, and it was a really special occasion.
You got kids walking around here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the mission stuff that we've gotten to do is the stuff I think I remember most. Being extremely jet lagged, going to a retirement community, and them not knowing what we were doing there, and we're painting fences, and then we're playing music, and that was when famously the lady walked by and kind of looked at Clay like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you? Why
Get
are
out
you
of my
here?"
way!
You're my way.
Yeah.
Elbowing me out of the way. I mean, I'm trying. I'm entertaining you.
The
Did you get
orphanage
it?
was great too, and getting to see those little kids. Obviously, they had no idea what we were doing, what were going on, but they were so sweet, and that was really special to get a chance to do those and just get to hold the tiny little babies and play music for them, and just getting a chance to hang with them. And that's really what I think I remember most in terms of our time together. Obviously, we've done so many paid gigs where we travel and do all this great stuff, but it's that connection with people, and it's the after parties where we get invited to somebody's house, and it's all the people from the community come, and where we're in Iowa somewhere, and we're just driving in the middle to some people's house,
Hey, we are.
and invite us in and feed us and give us drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that specifically. We were that was a crazy night. We had no idea. Like, we could die. They were driving us out to the woods. We have no idea where we're going.
Somewhere.
But of course, you went to Israel with us as well. That was pretty special. We got to do all kind of cool stuff there. That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought in a million years I would ever get to go visit the Holy Land like that and do all the special tours and you hear about all these things and all these places, and never do you think, at least in my lifetime, that I would ever get to stand in those places and see them and so many of them. We would go to 7 different amazing spots in a day, and it was just really was just overload. But it was amazing to be able to see and to experience that.
I think we all probably have a book in us at some point where music has taken us. You know what I mean? It's like we've all been able to go and do so many amazing things just by being musicians, doing this, chasing this crazy dream. So we're pretty fortunate.
So tell us a little bit about some hobbies and what's your side hustle? What's something you do when you're not playing trombone?
Well, I try to play trombone as much as possible, and
Obviously.
I teach virtual elementary music for a company, and I have my home office, and I get to teach kids about music. I also
awesome.
adjunct at 2 different colleges or universities. I adjunct at Florida State College of Jacksonville, and I adjunct at Jacksonville University as well. So.
Wow.
I'm overemployed.
Everybody's paying you, man.
Smart, dude. You got.
Well, I in especially times like this, I try to diversify. Try to do different things, and I learned real hard in 2009 when I was playing trombone was 100% of my income.
Yeah.
And all those gigs went away, as can happen.
It's kind of happening right now, isn't it? Same thing.
Exactly, and we're having to pivot and do something different. So,
right.
And having kids and a family and stuff like that, I never get an opportunity to turn a gig down. And Jeremy knows I'm usually the first to respond to emails about requests.
Bone players.
If you need something done quickly, just ask a trombone player.
That's right.
Sitting there on his phone or on his email waiting.
So you mentioned your family. Introduce your family to us. Who's your bride? Who are your kids?
I've been married 15 years to my wife Elizabeth, and she's Canadian, or was Canadian. She's now an American citizen.
Yes!
So it was funny. She had her American citizen interview and all of that ceremony while we were on the road. Naturally, so I woke up at 6 a.m. East Coast time while we were on the West Coast to FaceTime as she did her interview to become an American citizen. Then I got 2 boys, 9 and 10, Ian and Liam, and as as me and Clay have talked, my 10-year-old, I've unfortunately started him on trombone, so I apologize to the world for procreating another trombone player.
What you created here.
So, we talked about your wife becoming a U.S. citizen and how she probably knows more now about the U.S. Constitution and the history of our country than we do because she had to take this long test.
Surely she knows more than her trombone playing husband.
Yeah, she tells me you got to go vote. Vote for who?
What does this mean?
What's that?
Is it prime minister? Is this a king? I don't know.
That's awesome. Well, man, we're so glad that you're part of the team, Ryan. You've been such a blessing to us and just a cool guy to hang out with, and we're glad that we can introduce you to the world for sure.
Absolutely. Beyond the music, I mean, the music is always fun and the music is always good. People who've seen our show, they know. But for Clay and I, just having great people that are with us wherever we go, it just really makes it special. It's like family, man, and we're so thankful. Like Clay said, thankful to have you on board, brother.
That's right.
Yeah, man. And I, early on, I kind of recognized I try to surround my life with good people, regardless of work or jobs, and just good people. And I realized pretty early on, I'm like, these guys are doofuses, but they're good guys. They mean well, and I'm going to try to hitch my wagon to them because it was a blast from the beginning, and all the ups and downs. And there's been a lot of ups, but there's been a few downs every now and again, as there are. But man, I'm excited for the next 10 years. I truly am, and I'm on board for anything I can get away with and do, and with you guys, I'm count me in.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Awesome, brother.
Appreciate it so much. And until you find somebody else to hitch your wagon to, you're always welcome to hitch ours, for sure.
Awesome, man. I look forward to it.
All right, dude. Thanks so much, Ryan. Everybody, this is Ryan Bricknell.
Thank you,
Thank you, pal.
Thank you, Ryan. We love you, man.
Thanks, guys.